Thank you very much. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided indicating the time and place is same in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times by posting copy on the bulletin board in this photo. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Here.
Councilman Belcarro.
Here.
Councilman McCabe.
Here.
Council President Joseph.
Here.
Here. Public comment on the agenda items only? Oh, shucks. Yeah.
We're in executive session for approximately 30 minutes. The topics of discussion were personnel regarding the hiring of a CFO, contractual, let's see, what else? And attorney-client privilege. The minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you very much. Motion to go out of executive session?
Motion.
No, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So public comment on agenda items? There being none. Old business. Item number 1 is to approve the minutes of September 3 and October 1, 2014 meetings. Variance had a chance to... Oh, yes, ma'am.
On the public agenda regarding everything, is that what you mean? I just have,
Anything on the 2 pages of the agenda?
no, it's something that's not on.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Okay,
down toward the bottom of the second
good
page.
enough.
All right. Approve the minutes of the September 3 and October 1, 2014 regular meetings. If everyone's had a chance to read and review them, questions, comments, corrections? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Joseph.
Yes.
Mayor Stone.
Yes. Item number 2 is ordinance number 14-8, second reading and public hearing to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 227 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, including Section 25, multi-way stop intersections relevant to the intersection of Baltimore Street and South First Streets. Mr. Sturbins is not here with us this evening due to his presence at the League of Municipalities. But in his absence, for those of you who recall, this is the proposal to make this 4-way stop as reflected specifically in the agenda at the intersections of Baltimore and South First Streets. The appropriate studies have been done and indicated that traffic volume there will permit a 4-way stop, even in light of its proximity to the Route 22 and First Street intersections, and due to what have been a history of inquiries by members of the public about the volume of traffic and the through traffic with the 2-way stop there. The council moved forward with first reading. Tonight would be second reading. So motion to open item 2 for a public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Folks, questions, comments on item 2? There being none, motion to close public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Questions or comments from council? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe.
Yes.
Council President Joseph.
Yes.
Mayor Stone.
Yes. Item 3 is ordinance number 2014-11, second reading and public hearing of a bond ordinance for the purchase of a pumper fire apparatus. Representatives of the fire company are here with us tonight. We've discussed this multiple times up to over the last couple of months. It's requests from the fire company to replace an aging pumper truck. We had been presented with several options, and then actually we're able to go back and negotiate those options. This bond ordinance would allow us to make the purchase over a period of years and replace 18-year-old pumper. Okay. So motion to open item 3 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Questions or comments on item 3? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Questions or comments from council?
The only comment I do have is that they drove the old truck down to the dealership, and apparently he was appalled at the state of the machine. Said it was too dangerous for them to even be driving.
Got it. Any other comments? All right. Motion on item 3.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
No.
Councilman Belcarro.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing the purchase of the Emergency 1 Cyclone 2 EMAX pumper fire apparatus from HGAC Houston Galveston Area Council contingent on bond ordinance stoppable period. This is the resolution enabling us to go ahead and act on the ordinance that was just adopted one item prior. So if council has, well, is there a motion on item 4?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider,
No.
Councilman Belcaro,
yes,
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes, gentlemen, thank you for your work and your research. And number 5, ordinance number 2014-12, second reading and public hearing to provide funding for the South 3rd Street improvements and appropriating $305,000 for such purpose. If you haven't noticed, you obviously didn't come in that way, but South 3rd Street is under construction. So in ordinance number 5 is the second reading and the public hearing to appropriate $305,000 for funding for that purpose. Betty, anything you want to add or comment before?
I'd say 2/3 of that is grant money.
Okay. Motion to open item 5 for public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Folks, questions, comments? Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Questions or comments from council? Motion item 5, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcaro.
yes,
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. Under new business, item number 1 is to authorize a payment of $191,654.02 to Duane Contracting for work completed on the Route 57 pump station project pending USDA approval. For those of you who are relatively new here, Duane is the contracting company that is doing the pump station upgrades and installing the gravity line for us. We've been making periodic payments to them as the project progresses. Mr. Sturman is normally here to give us a bit of an update, not here to do so this evening. But did us, obviously, as he normally has, provide us with a little report to give us an idea of where we stand. This is a periodic payment. The amount is reflected on the agenda. And as is typically the case, because it's a USDA-funded project, USDA approval is required prior to ultimately releasing the funds. Questions or comments on item 1? Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcaro.
yes,
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. The next 11 items are a block of consent items. I'd ask council to take a minute. I know we already have, but just to be on the safe side, everybody take a minute and scroll through. A vast majority of them are tax-related items or financial-related items, but there are a handful of others, including the Title 39 enforcement at the Phillipsburg Athletic Complex. So take a minute, take a look at them, and then if we have any questions, we can address them. Specifically, I'd like to point out number 10. It's a resolution requesting approval of an insertion of items of revenue and appropriations into the 2014 budget, a check from Laura G. and Carl A. Azalina in honor of the 25th wedding anniversary of Jeff and Trina Verone, in the amount of $100 to be used as needed for the Lopatcong Township Police Department. So thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Azalina for their contribution to the township. All right, if there are no questions or comments from council, is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second,
second,
discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes, and also thank you to the Azalina family.
Councilman Belcaro.
yes,
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Announcements, December 3rd. It's the December 3rd regular meeting?
Yes.
All right, the December 3rd regular meeting is apparently starting early. The executive session will be at 6:30 and the regular meeting will start at 7. And make sure that the notice is up in the. All right, so for those of you who attend regular, please be aware that they're starting half hour early on the 3rd. That's it. Council reports, Ms. Snyder?
Nothing to report this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. McHale?
Yeah, just update on the sewer. As you see, the laying pipe, and I expect them to be done by the end of the year, complete. Where a lot of the items that they've started, they're 100% completed. So we just we got to finish going up to Roseberry Street and tie in, and then do some miscellaneous stuff, and then they'll be up and running. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Mr. Marquardt. Ms. McKay?
All right. First up is Lou Belcaro and I were on the CFO search committee, and we've interviewed a few people. We received some resumes, and some were disqualified for various reasons. However, we'd like to make a motion tonight to hire Lorraine Rossetti as the CFO for Lopatcong. And the reason for this choice is that we can have Lorraine hired as a shared service agreement, which would be beneficial to us. We're planning on doing a 2-year agreement. For those of you that don't know, when you hire a CFO, their position is for 4 years. So good, bad, or ugly, they're in for 4 years. So the benefit to hiring and coming to an agreement with Lorraine works in towns in the area. She works in Pohat, Alpha, and Greenwich. We have spoken to the mayor of Pohat, and he is willing to enter into a shared service agreement with Lopatcong for the purposes of the CFO position. And the benefits to the shared service, obviously, other than the 2-year time frame, is that we will then be able to share the cost of the benefits as well as the cost of the pensions. You know, maybe not 50-50, but at least if you're not carrying the whole cost, it's a savings of some sort. Lorraine has a lot of experience. She has experience working with DPW, with utilities. She's familiar, again, with the towns in the area. And there's no learning curve involved in hiring Lorraine. We don't have time for a learning curve.
When does Betty leave?
Betty is leaving us mid-December-ish, or
I'm going on vacation.
yes, she's going on vacation, leaving officially end of December. So we do need someone to come in, hit the ground running. You know, it's very important we get our books closed properly by year end, and we don't have time for training someone new or getting you know, things like that to we don't have time for that. And again, so our recommendation is that we hire Lorraine as the CFO. So I guess this is where I make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to hire Lorraine Rossetti as a CFO, you know, pending an acceptable shared service agreement. Would be for, I think it's 30 to 32 hours a week, and at the salary that we were going to initiate at $75,000, which is already a savings from our current salary.
And the negotiated shared service agreement would encompass the notion, the fact that you have to hire a CFO by statute for a 4-year term, and therefore the only way to circumvent that is under the Shared Service Act. And by sharing services, you can limit that term, or share Pohat's, in this case, CFO, and therefore do it for less than 4 years. So the 2 years that you're proposing, that's one, right? Also, you're going to talk about sharing, so it'll address shared benefits, shared pension, and I assume shared working conditions and hours, because also under the Shared Services Act, that shared services individual can take questions, while they might be physically sitting in another municipality, they can take questions there pertaining to the other municipalities within their sharing services. So
Correct.
I assume all those things will be addressed in your
shared service agreement. Correct. And again, the benefit is the 2-year agreement. You know, if you hire someone and it doesn't work out for either side, you know, time is going faster and faster these days, then, you know, we can start over in 2 years. If it doesn't work out and you're stuck with 4 years, that's what you're stuck with. So I see that as a big benefit, and it's an opportunity that we should take advantage of for the residents of Lopatcong.
Motion for a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Is that for council for discussion right now?
Yep.
Okay.
I guess, should I wait for a vote and have my, do my comments, or should I do them?
If you want to have it, yeah, let's have a discussion. Because it makes, if
Okay.
you want to, who knows, may sway somebody not to do it, so.
Yeah, right. I do have some comments. We do have two candidates that we interviewed. Both candidates were very strong candidates. However, I have not had a opportunity to look at the audit reports from the townships that Ms. Rossetti works in. There is an audit report coming out tomorrow. I'd like to see that report. There have been some comments on other audits that caused me to pause and really not think that this could be a good choice. I also don't have the numbers for this shared service. I don't know for definite any of the benefit pension numbers. I'd like to have those numbers before you enter into an agreement with someone. And I also, I think the other candidate was a very strong candidate. I think where she had two things that she did not had not done as a CFO, but they are very quick learn things that would not have caused any disruption in our services here. And I also just would like to see those audit reports. As I said, I'd really like to see, because I don't like what I've seen so far. And even though it's a 2-year over a 4-year term, a lot of damage could be done in 2 years. So I would like to see those reports before extending an offer to someone. And that would all be, that's all I'm asking, is for a few days to let me look at those. Actually, one day, because it'll be out tomorrow.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
You say audit reports plural, but I think if I remember when we talked about it earlier, you mentioned that it was just Greenwich. That was the only audit report that wasn't up
Yeah,
yet.
the other two, like I said, caused
They're
me some
online
pause.
already.
Yeah, they're online. I looked at them. There are some comments in there, like I said, that just
Okay.
didn't add up.
But just so we're clear, the other two audit reports are available, and you've seen those. The one you
Yes.
haven't seen, so it's not audit reports that aren't available. It's just one report. The Greenwich
Yeah,
one.
I'm sorry. Yes,
That's
the
okay.
one,
I just
the one
wanted-
report. Yes, I saw the other two, which gave me a reason to look at the third, and the third one is not out yet. It won't be out until tomorrow.
No problem.
So I'd like to have that opportunity. It's a big decision. I guess I know we're crunched for time, but to make a decision based on a 2-year contract versus a 4 without really knowing all the numbers yet, I think is a hasty decision at this point.
Well, I think that we have, we've interviewed Lorraine Rossetti twice already. The prior audits are online. You've already researched them. We need to move on this immediately. As I said, we need someone that will come in right away, hit the ground running, and help us with closing our books by year end. We can't delay a vote, primarily because we don't have time to have another meeting this year. You have to have 2-week time frame to post it, to announce it, and then now we're running into holidays and people aren't going to be around or gone or absent. And I think that delaying would be detrimental to the township. I think we need to move forward. We've been given plenty of information to review, and we've all had time to look up what we needed to look up since we've had resumes in our hand for over a month at this point.
Right, well, considering I only had one opportunity to interview her, and she wouldn't be, it's still a 2-week time frame for her to resign from her other positions. And as I said, that's not, it's just a hasty move, not knowing all of our research.
No, I don't think it's a hasty move. And as far as the numbers, she agreed to a $75,000 starting salary. The benefits are what they're going to be. They're not going to change. Pension is what it's going to be. What numbers do we need to review any further at this point?
get
It's the
numbers?
starting salary.
Well,
Did you forward us numbers?
Yeah.
you still haven't, as you said, she agreed to 21 hours at 75,000. I have not heard that she,
I've
Is
spoken with her
agreed.
and we've discussed it in executive that
Yeah, my understanding is that Ms. McCabe had a discussion, and the motion she's making, at least as I understand the motion, is 31 to 32 hours at $75,000. If she rejects that, then obviously she would not be able to meet the township's terms. But as I understand, what's
30 to
being
32
proposed.
at 75,000.
32
so
hours.
she doesn't actually know that we're proposing 32 hours
No,
right
Ms.
now.
McCabe has represented to us, both in executive and again just now, that they had a verbal discussion and that she does know it's 32 hours.
Right,
Again,
but she doesn't know it's at 75,000.
Yes,
Yes,
she
she
does.
said
That
she
is the amount she proposed.
And
That's
again-
the,
if she rejects it, then you all get what you want by default anyway. She doesn't do it, and you're back to the other person. So,
Well, yeah, I understand, but why extend the offer unless we know for sure?
no, we know for sure.
I'm
That's what I'm telling you.
taking Ms. McCabe's word for it that she's had that discussion with her and that she knows for sure. So, at least me personally.
With anybody, we have to make an offer to them and then they
We'd have to make
accept
the
it.
offer, and they would have to accept the offer.
But I think knowing all the numbers and her knowing what we're, what it is before we even propose it to her.
Okay.
Before we even give her the offer, she should know exactly, and we should have it in writing, not just by making a phone call.
Ms. McCabe, you're representing the council that she knows the relevant terms.
Yes, she knows the relevant terms, and my motion is pending the acceptable shared service agreement between
Got it.
both towns
Okay.
and the county.
So, we've had a motion, we've had discussion. Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Booker. Ms.
Sorry,
McCabe, Ms. Jesselman.
I'd just like to add one thing that Lorraine, she's been with Pohat Alpha and Greenwich now for 9 years, I believe. So it's nothing, it isn't something she just came in the past year or 2 years. So she's been around.
Yes.
So if there was anything wrong with any of her audits or anything of that nature, I think that it would have been addressed. I think it would have been public information. I think being so close, we would have heard of such things that would disqualify her to come here to be interviewed.
Right.
So,
Well, I've heard such things, but I'd like to see it in writing from an auditor first. And what I hear does not sound very promising. It's a big decision, as I said, it's a big decision. And, like the 2-year term could be very well a detriment to us as opposed to a 4-year term. There's a lot of damage that could be done.
Well, again, I'm just trying to, I didn't participate in the interviews. I wasn't here. I think you were there, Mr. Bocaro, right, Ms. McCabe. My understanding is that we're talking about one audit report for last year, because every prior year's audit report, as Mr. Bocaro points out, she's been servicing these towns for the past 9 years, is available online. So 9, I'm not good at math, 9 times 3, 27. We've got 27 audit reports to talk about, and we're debating one that doesn't exist. And it seems to me that Greenwich's lack of transparency or its failure to put its audit report up online in the same time frame that Powhatan and what's the other town, Alpha did, should not hinder you guys in making a decision if the majority of council chooses to make a decision. So there you go.
Can I make a comment?
We can call for a vote unless you want to.
Oh, I just want, based on, they both were very strong candidates. Lorraine, I felt, has the experience for everything that we do in our town, which Paige didn't. She also has the college education background, and she has been a CMFO for 11 years, 10 years longer. And she has, I believe, she's been doing this since 1999 as a CFO. So, like I said, they both interviewed well.
And Lorraine definitely does have, I think, the stronger experience, which again is what we need, someone to come in and hit the ground running.
Plus the shared services.
All right, so we got a motion and a second. Every council member said their 2 cents. So call vote.
Yes, Councilwoman Schneider,
I say no.
Councilman Belcarro,
yes.
Councilwoman McCabe,
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, anything else, Mr. King?
No. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Also, EDAC committee. We are still working on our discount card. We have several businesses signed up. We're going to get a few more, and then we hope to get this to print and out in December. It'll be good for a year, December to December. So that is in progress, and the local businesses are responding nicely. And the goal is to hope to pick up, foot traffic and business in town, which will benefit all of us. If it's known that, Lopat is a good place for business, it hopefully the plan is to attract more businesses. Last week, Warren County had an economic development meeting, which many towns were invited, and from the county. Lopat showed up, and we were the ones with the most representatives, so we get 2 points for that. Their goal is to, as an EDAC committee for the county, their goal is to help the towns in processing any business requests that come in to the town. So if Lopat gets an offer of a business that maybe we can't handle, or we don't have the square, the square footage for, or the acreage for, that we contact Warren County. And this way, the benefit would be to hopefully try to keep that business in Warren County versus having them go to Lehigh Valley or go to another county. And the opposite is true as well. Warren County will be keeping tabs on each town and what they have available. So when new businesses do come in, they may be able to say, oh, why don't you go to Lopat? They have this or this or this that may be beneficial to your business, type of business. Also, Warren County is offering, they do have some more information available if we needed it to let us know, to do research on if there's any state grants available, any tax incentives for a new business to assist with the business relocation into our town. So it was a good meeting. I think they're going to try to have a couple a year, or at least 2 a year, and just to keep everyone sort of, talking and know what's going on out there. Additionally, following up with that, I did speak to Mr. Van Vliet from the planning board. We were wondering if we were able to have anything like, say, a sports dome in the area. I believe there's one in Flemington, there's one up in Poconos. And I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't be in conflict with our ROM zone. Would we need to change an ordinance or such like that? But I was advised that no, it might be best to just, if such a business were to come in and look at us, and hopefully that would be the case, that they could come for a variance, and that we could then go from there. And of course, the hope is that things like that work out. So we're trying to, keep all our options open and try to think outside the box and get some new ideas and new businesses into town. That's the goal. Next, also on the shared services, we are looking at all of our positions, but we have a tax assessor here who's part-time. We're going to be working on a shared service position for that position. We're working on the details, and it may be possible that we could finalize that hopefully by the end of the year. We'll see. Lastly, I've been receiving a few emails, questions about, leaves and snow and things like that. And of course, we've been very transparent, lots of information on our website. If you are interested in the leave schedule, it's posted. However, of course, it's all subject to change. It depends on the weather. It depends what streets, what towns they're up to. I think Brian is out, but he's, you can always contact DPW, or you can contact here if you really have concerns about your leaves. Someone asked me about snow. I guess they were looking at the Buffalo News. I'm not sure, but we'll post some information on our website as soon as we get that straight. I don't know if we have, on Facebook. I don't know if we have, maybe we'll post about snow emergency streets, and how the plowing schedule works out. So, and again, if you have questions like that, please feel free to contact, the clerk's office. They're here during the business hours. They're here to help. Get on Facebook, get on the website. There's contact information there, and we're here to help and here to give you as much information as you need. And that's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll go. All right.
Okay.
I have, bear with me here. Okay, for the LAA, the Athletic Association. Let's start with, we are working on getting batting cages. They're getting some quotes. They're going over the park with Brian at the DBW trying to find a good place for it. This is something that they've been fundraising for years, probably since my son was out there playing baseball. And thanks to the effort of a fully staffed board that is eager and to work together, they're able to finally put this to rest. So I'll have more information as that comes along. We also did our leaf cleanup. I have to give a thank you to all the families that helped out and the families that asked to have their yards done. Some were a lot more leaves than others, but we had a great time. The people were very, very appreciative, and it was great for the kids and the families involved to do that. We'll be doing that every year. From that, we realized, and I tried to start this last year, but it was midwinter. So now, before it starts snowing, which could happen at any minute now, we want to also set up a group for snow help, because snow is even a worse condition than leaves, because it is, depending on the heaviness of the snow, a lot of heart attacks can occur. So one of the things, and I've been talking to the LAA, and I know I'd also been talking to Councilman Belcara about this, is we want to form some kind of group, not necessarily a youth group. It doesn't have to be young people. It can be any person that wants to help out. So we want to coordinate some type of group where we have names of people who would be willing to go out and help people. And then we can also collect names of people who would be needing help. And then they could contact a contact person, and we could then get somebody out there to help them. Everything's pointing to us having a snowy winter again, and it is, at my house, we end up helping our two, the older couples that live on each side of us. And I know my husband and I, by last winter, 2 o'clock in the morning, we're about had it. And I can't imagine, being 65, 75, 85 out there trying to shovel snow. So we wanted to get that started. And I don't know if I should make a motion, but if Councilman Belcara and I can work on that.
Absolutely.
Now here's some good news. We had very successful fall sports. Our cheering teams, they also compete. They did very well. Each competition, they ended up doing better and better, and they were all scoring extremely well. The cheering director is getting all the final results, and when I have them, I'll post them on Facebook and on the LAA page. Soccer results. All the teams did very well. Our intermediate team was undefeated, and they also won the championship. So that was a great feat for them. Football. Football had a very good season. Our Pee-wees were undefeated. Unfortunately, they did not win the tourney, but they did very, very well. Our biddies, which just happened to be coached by Mayor Steinhardt, I think they lost, one game? They lost the championship game, unfortunately.
The same team that beat us the other.
Yeah, so they had one loss, and then they lost the championship game against the same team. It was a very close game. I think it was, 18-13? Yeah. Very, very sad when they lose, because they do get very upset. And our midgets, who, the same thing, I believe they lost one game, they unfortunately also lost the playoffs, the championship. So they had great seasons, but unfortunately they weren't able to get those championship games. But we'll try again next year. So those are those for rec. Again, the rec was kind of involved in the leaf cleanup, and we are going to do that every year. What we did is I myself went over to one of the care centers to talk to them about our rec programs, because some of the things we wanted to do is actually bring some programs into like Brakely and Lopatcong care centers and certain things that they would like to do. And they gave us some ideas on what they want us to do and what they like. They want the firemen to come back. Apparently they really love when the firemen light mattresses on fire, but I don't know if you do that anymore. that was repeated multiple times. But and the director kept saying, no, I don't think we want to do that. We also went up to we went up to Delaware Crossings, my rec committee. 5 of us went up there, and that was great. We had about 30 people that came out. We had some refreshments, and we just talked a little bit about our committee and what we're trying to do. If you've been up to Delaware Crossings, they have a great community center. They have the pool. It's just a very nice neighborhood. But they are looking to get involved more in the town. Some of them have moved here from out of the area. Some of them just moved over there, and others, they came here because of their grandchildren. And so we met with them, and Robin was with me. She's here in the audience. They had some really good ideas. They're looking to do a lot of things at the school. Like, they want us to have events there. So those are some of the things that we're going to wrap up at our December meeting and go to the Board of Ed and talk to about maybe doing some activity nights. They want to do yoga, square dancing, art, stuff like that. They are interested in music in the park. and let's see if I can say this correctly, watching movies that are not cartoons. Like seeing something like a PG-13 movie outside, which is really nice. Like we do our movies at the pool, and they would be interested in coming out to one of those. We talked with one of our meeting before the November meeting, we talked with our engineer about a dog park. So we are looking for areas that we could put that in. We're looking to get some grant money. I know Petco has given money to Peaburg, and we're talking to Peaburg about that. That was one of the things that Delaware Crossings was big on too. They have a lot of dogs. I mean, there's a lot of dogs in town, but they really wanted that. And we also talked about a safer pathway. We are investigating the status of Smith Road, and I think I need to ask council to have Katrina look into the status of Smith Road for us, because we're not sure if the township owns it or if it's private. If we do own it, then we can go in there, we can make some minor improvements, and we can make it a walking and bike path. And, again, we can get some grant money for that. This way, instead of everybody going Red School and then turning on Belvedere there, where your sight line is very difficult and the cars are going fast, we can make a little walkway from the sidewalk on Red School, go over Smith Road, and that'll take you right to Rose Lane, where it's a little easier to cross. And then we're going to talk to the county about making a crosswalk over there too. We have some fundraisers that we're going forward. We're going to have an ongoing bench fundraiser. We'll make sure we put that on the website. So if any point in time you want to dedicate a bench to a family member or a group, you can do that. We want to start a donate a tree program. We do need some shade up there. And one of the things that we're working with the LAA is a brick pathway or a brick area where you could donate a brick, have your family's name engraved on there, and then that would pay for the pathway and, get us some money to do some improvements up there. Technology. I have my own personal pick for online payments. Rachel, our tax collector, is actually down in Atlantic City right now, and she's going to go visit the other two vendors. We did some demos, and I'll have the cost comparisons for that in December, so we can pick one. This way we can get it in place for February. Finance Committee. Donna and I met with Betty for the first meeting. We saw her projections, which of course are not set in stone. They're just her recommendations. We reviewed the debt. We may be able to refinance them at a lower rate. We reviewed our surplus and its importance in the stability of our town and its influence on our credit rating, and we're trying to meet once a month. Some of the future plans we have going. One of the things that I was working on and want to pick up again is shared service with our courts. Times are tough for all these towns, and the court is a big expense. So they are looking, a lot of courts are merging. My ultimate goal would be for us to have a joint court system like North Warren does. They've all joined together, and have South Warren joined together. So I'm working on that. For EDAC, I've been encouraging them to have a networking event in our town with the Chamber of Commerce, so we're going to look at that. Also, we have a lot of opportunities to collaborate between the committees. LAA and the Recreation have been working a lot together, and will continue to do so. The EDAC is also primed for working with both of us, because both LAA and the Recreation Committee need sponsors and donations. And the EDAC can help us get them, and that can help promote our businesses. The LAA has huge plans. There'll be more on that to come. But we are committed to making our park the park that groups want to come to play to and rent and use our fields. Going with the newsletter, I've been just looking at, and I looked at another local print company, trying to get an idea of what it costs to create the newsletter similar to the Greenwich Gazette, and how much in ads we would need. I want to meet with the EDAC to get that ball rolling as well, because again, we would need advertising to get that done. And I'll have a couple of the vendors just to get some prices. Also, it is year end. I think it is possible for us to get out like a quick newsletter. If everybody here on council and the departments want to give a little blurb just to round out the year, we can do it in-house, put it online, and just, that's all I need to do. One other thing I do have for recreation is we have our photo contest winners, and we're making a calendar. Gary was gracious enough to go through the trouble of actually making the actual calendar, which I thank you for. It's very tedious, and I have all the pictures. I'm in the process of getting quotes now. It looks like to get 250, the max I would need would be $1,250. So I'd like to make a motion to appropriate that so I could get the calendars made, and then we would sell them for more than they cost to make the profit, and I could go back into the Recreation Committee for Community Day 2015. I made a motion. Yeah.
Second. Yes, second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes, and I have some comments, Lori, on our questions on some of your reports.
Okay, I'm not
Okay.
finished yet.
Okay. Okay.
Councilman Belcarra.
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes.
Seniors. As I was campaigning, I was able to speak to many of our senior residents, which is always a pleasure. Getting the word out to our senior residents, though, is very difficult. We haven't yet been able to find a communication vehicle that actually works. They're not in the school district, so they're not getting the notifications. They're not, in LAA, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, which is where you get most of your information from. I had mentioned some months ago to the mayor, just off topic, that I thought Maureen had an excellent rapport with our seniors. She seems to know many of them. And I had wanted to make her our senior liaison, but never pushed that forward. Since we are trying to move forward with more activities oriented towards our 55 and over crowd, I would like to revisit that and recommend Maureen for the position.
Okay.
Okay. I accept.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to do that.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd be happy to do that.
It's fine.
I'll wrap up here. I just want to say thank you to every single person out there that voted for me. I jumped into this very late. I campaigned in less than 2 months with only a handful of helpers, but they all had a lot of heart. It was a pleasure to speak to every single person out there, whether they supported me or not. I knew it was a huge uphill battle to run outside of my party, which for the record is the Republican Party. And I have been one since I registered when I was 18. There was a computer glitch that flipped me over to unaffiliated a few years, but that's been rectified. However, in my opinion, there is no mountain too high that I'd be willing to climb for this town. So I went and I did it, and it's always a great experience to go out there and talk to people. I congratulate my opponent on his win and wish him the best of luck. And that's it.
I would just ask for a motion to authorize an order title for Smith.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to.
I'll make a motion for Katrina to.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Belcarra.
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
Yes.
Thank
All right.
All right. Can I ask Lori some questions before you start yours?
They're actually
Just
council
to-
reports.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
More
one of the
question and
motions.
answer periods, but
Well, two things. The letter, I did, that's kind of a question to ask council to get a newsletter out.
I'm
So,
just saying, if anybody wants to, yeah, if you want to, we could definitely pull something together, just to put out on the website and we print out here, not
Yeah.
to mail.
yeah, and that would be great, as long as everybody has, an agreement before it goes out.
Sure. Mhm.
Okay. And the batting cages, or LEA is paying for that out of their,
Yes, they are,
They
out of their
raised it.
donated funds.
okay. How much are the batting cages?
They run about 3,000.
And you get two?
It's one set.
One set?
Yeah, it's
Okay, so
one.
it's, okay,
They put a netting between the
Okay.
two.
thanks, that's it.
I don't have anything. I do? What do I have? Number 3?
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, okay, yeah, we need to update the security provisions in the all-purpose room, so there's the need to add security cameras there to cost us $2,000. Okay, so motion,
Motion.
second,
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider.
No, I think I'd like to look at the rest of the building and see if there's any cameras that are not in full use and maybe be able to swing some in another direction, but just to see if we have anything, that we're not using that we can use there instead of paying $2,000 for more cameras, just to check first.
Okay,
Councilman Belcarra.
Yes.
Councilwoman McKay.
Yes.
Council President Chesler.
Yes.
Mayor Snyder.
yes. All right, is that all I have?
Yes, yes, sir.
And let's see, all right. Tax collector's not here. Ms. Phillips?
Just giving the council each a report from the state local finance notice, a copy of a user-friendly budget proposal. If you want to make any comments to the staff, review it. It is to be in plain language so the public can understand it, and with more statistical information and more summary.
Just to add to that, just yesterday in Atlantic City, John Mooney, your auditor, gave a lecture to 250 people because I was there with him, and his topic was user-friendly budgets. So you may want to ask him to come in and give you a little.
Yes.
He's got a slide presentation and everything. So
Thanks.
That's it.
All right, what else we got? Mr. Stebbins is not here. Motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman O'Carroll?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Johnson?
Yes.
Mayor King?
Yes. Pay bills?
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman O'Carroll?
What?
Councilman O'Carroll?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCabe?
Yes.
Council President Joseph?
Yes.
Yes. That's it. Folks, questions, comments? We will be back here on, December 4th.
December 3rd.
3rd. All right, don't come on the 4th, we won't be here. December
Yeah.
3rd.
Public
But
service.
recall that we're starting early, 6:30, right? 6:30?
Yes.
So,
Executive is
anybody,
6:30.
questions, comments between now and the 3rd? Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very
yeah.
much. Yeah, don't forget, Eastern Peabody game.
Yeah, powder puff game Monday.
I think the bridge is scheduled to be open, so, you know, it's open for the Thanksgiving game.
Fed walkers.
Marlene Dick, 10 Byron Drive, and I think I know the answer to this already. Our current CFO, who's a full-time employee, is the CFO paid overtime in the township right now if they go over X amount of hours?
No, she's out.
Okay. With a shared services agreement at the rate of 30 to 32 hours, if for whatever reason that person would need to work more than 30 or 32 hours, are they then paid overtime?
There's no overtime.
No.
There's no overtime.
Salary.
It's
Exactly.
salaried, so they can work 40 hours, but they'll just be paid for the rate of 32.
Whatever it takes to get the job done.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
He needs to come up.
you gotta come up, unfortunately, you gotta identify yourself, your address. Please.
My name is Costas Zambas.
Yes, sir.
I would like to know how many towns she works right now, or
How many?
towns,
3.
3, plus
Oh.
1 would be 4.
No.
No.
She's leaving too. So she'll just be in Powhatcon in here.
So only
She's
2.
going from 3 to 2.
Well, I was under the impression you'll be working 4 towns times
She's
4,
replacing
32 hours,
No.
to be working 24 hours a day.
No.
No.
Actually, more than that, I think, when you add it all up, so, yeah, no.
Because I see there are a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
No.
Some people have
Going from
4
3 to,
jobs,
going from 3 to 2.
and they can't even do 1.
Going from 3 to 2.
Right,
All right.
dropping.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. That,
I saw him.
you did, okay. No, and then-
Carlos Correa, 82 Princeton Way. My understanding is that Beth owns 2 positions, she's CFO plus the treasurer for the sewer committee. Is that true? Betty, sorry. Is that true?
Sewer work is part of the job description.
It's all part.
She was presented with a job description, Carlos, of all the same jobs that Betty
So,
does.
so the new person is gonna take
Yes, sir.
over both? Okay,
But there's actually more than that.
Mhm.
So the answer is yes.
okay, no, now it makes sense because I know she makes
She does the
65,000
LAA
plus 35,000, so
Yeah, she does the
when you
LAA.
mentioned $75,000
Oh,
for
yeah.
just CFO,
No.
it
Yeah.
kind of like didn't add up.
Everything that Betty does, she'll be doing.
Both jobs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for 30, okay,
Yes.
got you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes? Yes, sir. Oh, I forgot. And ma'am, you had a question too, right? Okay, fire away.
Ed Schuster.
Yep.
I don't know if council's aware of the fence they put up by the ball field at Edward Street. It's a little wooden fence. I talked to the guys and they said they were putting it up so in case a car come out of development, it doesn't run in the ball field and hurt the kids.
Okay.
It'd be nice if somebody had looked at it because I don't know whether Paul had something to do with it or what, but where it starts right by the backstop, a car can jump the curb, go through a backstop where you have like 3 people sitting there, and also the edge of the fence, the car could come down, hit the edge of the fence, and hurt somebody in the car. So I don't know whether Larkin's doing that or what's.
These centers should dig it up first and get Paul out. Since Paul's not around, we'll take care of it tomorrow.
The other thing is, you talk about old dogs in the crossing. I live right next to her, and it's true, there's a lot of dogs. I don't know about them picking it up. I'm not accusing anybody. I don't know yet. My question is, what do I have to do if there's a problem? Do I take a video? I mean, I can't go one-on-one. What do I have to do to say you did it and I got proof of it before I come to somebody and say,
You did it and I approve of it.
yeah, I mean, what do I have to take? Is the video suffice or do you have to do something else? Do I take a different avenue or what?
You could file a complaint against somebody because they're breaking the law, so you can go to the police and swear out a complaint. You wouldn't even need a video, but If you could
Okay.
get one, of course, that helps their case.
So I could just file a complaint too, because I thought it might
Yeah.
just be like a one-on-one type thing.
No, but then you'd
Yeah,
have
you
to.
don't need to, yeah, the last thing you want to do is interject yourself.
Right, no, I don't want to do that. The last question is, candidate election signs, aren't they supposed to be taken down a couple days after the election?
Yeah, still a couple of, the problem is lots of people help put them up, and sometimes.
Yeah, I know, there's one in the middle of the street, from my driveway, Mr. McKay's sign, I don't know. if
I'm
the
sure
committee could
somebody
pick it
will
up.
take care of it.
Yeah, if they go up there, they don't have to open the car, they can just reach out and get it, that would be it. Okay?
It'll get taken care
Huh? Yeah, you'll see it. You go for it.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Is this open for anything now?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Kathy Susko, SUSZKO, 31 Wordsworth Lane. I'm here on behalf of Girl Scouts. What brings me here is back when we were planning our end of year ceremony, we called the town and asked to rent the pavilion. We were told it's a $200 charge. Naturally, we can't afford that. Okay, going back years and years ago, Girl Scouts put in the playground that was up there. Okay, when we put it in, I'm one of the few leaders that are still around that was involved with that. The pool committee promised us free use of the pavilion with that. I got in touch with one of our old leaders, Jane Cruzman. She got in touch with Sandy Arndt. Sandy Arndt then remembered Steve Hoffman was involved with that. I think it was back 84, 85. So what I'm asking is, we usually have an end-of-year ceremony and we have a recruitment drive in the fall. I was wondering if council, the town can waive use of the pavilion for 2 events that we have.
We do that for Boy Scouts, don't
That's
we?
the sixth. Do we scouts? Yeah, what
What do we do for Scouts?
do we do for Boy Scouts?
Well, they usually come in for a week and they do pay.
You charge us for camp, that.
Yeah.
For camp? Yeah, but that's a long time.
This would be
Right, yeah.
one afternoon for fly-ups where we do our end-of-year
Yeah.
ceremony.
Mhm.
And then if,
I don't think it's.
What's the
a lot.
new
Let's just
rule?
go over this. We just adopted a
Yeah.
new set of guidelines. Let us check those
That's,
first.
that's for
Okay.
fields though, not for
It's not for the
pavilion,
pavilion.
not for
What's the
pavilion, no.
policy on the pavilion?
Years ago, we used to have something for nonprofits
Mhm.
and.
We look at the pavilion and see if it needs to be, excuse me, I'm stuttering. You know what I mean? The policy
Yeah.
and see if it requires a revision. At the December meeting, we will have the policy. We'll look at it again and see if it needs to be tweaked to make
Okay.
sure that we're not penalizing the town's youth groups.
okay, good enough. Thank you so much.
You're very
Thank
welcome. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Anybody else tonight? Questions, comments? Otherwise, we're going to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys on December 3rd. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Go Fever.
Yeah.